Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday, May 6th edition of the B Team. Ryan Brauninger, Richard Zane producing the show. Kate Bickham, presented by Southwood Valley Animal Hospital. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, or visit their website, southwoodvalleyvet.com, where you can schedule appointments or you can give them a call at 979-693-9898. We appreciate their partnership with this program. I found out a lot of things last night while I was calling the Texas A&M versus Prairie View baseball game. This is a We Learned Wednesday, and I learned a few things last night in the booth with Andrew Monaco. I learned that there is no pleasing people when you're on the air. I learned that I say program apparently like Pat McAfee says program.
Yeah. You've never realized that? I thought that, to be honest with you, because I brought that up, right? I'm the one that said that. Well, somebody pointed out that you say program as program. I always thought it was a conscious decision on your part, since you were such a loyal McAfee fan, to start pronouncing program like program.
I think I've always said program. Maybe it became more pronounced with the McAfee stuff because he goes out of his way to
They do go out of their way.
pronounce it like that.
I don't know if you're necessarily going out of your way. I think your East Texas triangle or your Golden Triangle dialect gets in the way.
It doesn't feel forced, if that's what you're asking.
Okay.
And so I learned that. I learned that some people think that I talk too much on the broadcast. Some people think I talk too little. I got messages about both. Some people said, boy, you don't shut up. These are people I don't know. Now, some of them are randoms on Twitter that are nameless, faceless opponents, you know, that kind of thing. They tweet at me and say that I talk too much. And then I get messages on TexAgs, private messages on the site, say, man, you should talk more. I learn baseball whenever you do games. So say early edition or early hit at We Learned Wednesday. I've got other things, but that was some of the things that I learned last night in the broadcast is that there is no pleasing some people. And you have to be unapologetically yourself in front of a microphone. And I think that's what comes through the best. That's why Andrew Monaco is so good at what he does.
So you learned last night that there's no pleasing people? Shouldn't you have already known that because you've been married for how long?
Well, I don't want to get too involved on pleasing people in marriage, but I do have a kid. So
sounds like one of you were pleased.
At least one of us. All right. A&M beats Prairie View last night 16-7. We'll get into that.
Somebody said Brauny eats too much in the booth.
Well, that's another thing that I learned was that there are some people that believe that in a 16-7 midweek game that was moving at a snail's pace.
Oh my gosh, dude.
And
it was so slow.
The last midweek game of the year against a SWAC opponent, and it's the seventh inning, and this thing is just dragging on. That I'm supposed to stay locked in on baseball, and can't have any fun in the booth. That's something that I think Mr. Monaco took offense to. He's like, "What do you want us to just be all in and living and dying by every pitch in this thing right now?" But we did learn in the booth last night that with the proper levels of hunger, weird food combinations become more palatable. And we stumbled upon Ben's soft pretzels.
The regular ones, right?
Yes.
The OGs?
OGs.
So good. So good on their own.
So, they come with a little salt on the top.
Yeah, real good.
And Marge, who runs Levy over there, or runs the concessions over there, brought us a hot pretzel and then a small cup of Bluebell Dutch chocolate ice cream.
Okay.
And me, being the fat boy that I am, I was like, I wonder if this is any good. So I started just breaking off pieces of the hot pretzel and dragging it through the chocolate ice cream. I nearly ate the entire pretzel that way. I didn't eat all the pretzel.
And it was good.
It was incredible.
Well, you've had the chocolate dipped like mini pretzels, right?
Yes, but
those are amazing. So why wouldn't this be way better?
This is a way better experience because it's
the hot pretzel's amazing.
The hot pretzel, the cold ice cream, the sweet ice cream, the salty pretzel. It was a brilliant, beautiful marriage that happened inside of my mouth.
Meanwhile, over in the writer's press, we were starving, just trying to get out of there, but they wanted to play for 3 hours and 39 minutes.
And I was thinking about how do I get I guess I could go. They sell Ben's soft pretzels in HEB or in the grocery store.
Do they?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I was trying to figure out
looked.
how we get this on the B team so you and Cade could experience what I did in the booth last night.
That's a brilliant idea.
New critique of Brauny from the chat. Brauny breathes a little too loud for my liking. So do us all a favor.
Stop breathing. I would do a lot of people a favor by stop breathing. But I goaded Andrew and his wife, Miss Laura, enough to try my creation in the booth last night. They loved it. So we may have unlocked a
and even if they didn't like it, they
would
both
tell
way
you.
too nice
But
to tell
it was
you.
so good. It was hard for me to think that they were faking this. But especially as the ice cream melted a little bit. And I didn't know. It was some bad timing on some of the things that we were talking about, the pretzel and the chocolate ice cream. I think Andrew tried it at the same time a Prairie View kid got hit near the nether regions in the ninth inning. And Andrew takes a bite of it, and he's enjoying it. I can see the happiness on his face from this bite of food.
Yeah.
And right as that happens, this kid gets hit with the pitch. And I said, yeah, I quite enjoyed that. And so if you're just watching the game with no context, it looks like I said, I quite enjoyed that Prairie View kid getting hit in the thigh by a fastball. That's not what I was referring to. But that was our experience in the booth, especially the last few innings last night, because that game got really, really slow. But we will talk about the actual baseball game. The Aggies finished the midweek slate at 10-1 on the season, 21-2 in the non-conference. That is an accomplishment, regardless of what happens the remainder of the season. We'll get into what happened in Detroit, Michigan yesterday, one of Richard's favorite towns. Framber Valdez stole the headlines around Major League Baseball.
Somebody's saying that I just tried to mask a fart. I didn't fart. I was trying to contain my laughter because you said something about
I know.
faking
I
it.
caught it. Yeah,
no.
I caught it. We'll talk Astros and Dodgers.
I have not
because
farted. Promise.
Richard and I's and Cade. Me and Cade's favorite team against Richard's favorite team. The Dodgers are having plenty of success in Houston, as you'd imagine.
That game is over, by the way.
It was a
tragedy.
It was an embarrassment, unless you're wearing a Dodgers long sleeve.
Get right, Day.
Garrett Cole, really embarrassing moment for him as he tries to work his way back to Major League Baseball. And then one of the more interesting quotes of the offseason in the SEC for football came across my scrolls yesterday, and we got to get into what new Arkansas head coach Ryan Silverfield said.
Well,
Because he was very honest and probably said too much.
You want to start with that, Brauny? I got them all loaded up.
So, on the topic of interesting quotes from coaches or former coaches, did you see what Brian Kelly said today?
No.
I gotta find it.
Was it the tweet about AI?
Yes.
Hey, hold on. It was my scrolls just a moment ago.
So it was a tweet from On3, and the graphic's amazing. It's just a photo of Brian Kelly, his headset. He's looking all disheveled. It says Claude in all caps. It says new. Brian Kelly revealed how AI is helping him prepare for his next coaching job. Quote, every day I'm trying to do my due diligence using Claude and AI, asking questions to build some of those answers that I think can be helpful for me as I get in front of an athletic director. This is from the actual On3 account.
Sure that's not no 3?
Yes,
it also
this is
says
the
in
actual
quotations.
On3 account.
It says in quotations via USA Today. So
Yes.
real.
Why does he even need to work anymore? Why would you want to work anymore? He's in his mid-60s. LSU just paid him a ton of money. It seems like every time this guy opens his mouth, or at least over the last 12 to 18 months, it has been nothing but embarrassing for him in any sort of program that he is running or a part of.
Program.
Yeah, we can start with a Ryan Silverfield quote if you've got it already loaded up.
I got them all loaded up, so whatever you want to go with.
Yeah, well, let's start with football, then we'll end the show with baseball and a couple of things that we've learned. So this is a quote from Arkansas head coach Ryan Silverfield to Pete Nakos, talking about the challenges at the University of Arkansas. And I'll read it. If you're not watching with us, I'll read it to you. It says, I don't know. When we line up, even when we match up against Utah, I don't know how we match up with Georgia in our first SEC game from a talent standpoint. So let's be the best in the country. Cade, you're going to have to read this.
Yeah, I got it. All right. So, You want me to start from the top?
Yeah, just go ahead.
Okay,
That was
he says,
choppy.
He
How
says,
many Aggies does it take to read it?
He
Well, I
says-
got a camera right in the middle of the screen.
I got it. It's right in front of me. I don't know. When we line up, how we even match up against Utah. I don't know how we match up with Georgia in our first SEC game from a talent standpoint. So let's be the best in the country in the controllables, best in the country in attitude, best in the country in effort. Those things have nothing to do with talent. We're going to harp on all that all the time. Best in the country in how much film we study and the execution and discipline.
You want to talk about setting the bar pretty low.
Sounds just like
That bar is on the ground.
He basically just said, we're going to be terrible. We might as well work really hard at being less terrible.
Sounds just like the time I sat in a press conference and a head basketball coach at Texas A&M told me, quote, I don't know if we have the best players, but that's because the head coach is not the best recruiter.
Oh, there's a difference in what
But
Ryan Silverfield.
I'm their best cheerleader.
That was a wild quote when it happened, especially given the year that it was for him in the chair. This is Ryan Silverfield's first season at Arkansas, so it's not as outlandish, but he could have said it differently because he did put the bar on the ground for their football season. And you just read some of the responses, not from Arkansas fans who have gone completely overboard with it, but from some of their media members that are going, look, we appreciate the honesty and we know what this roster is, but you want to talk about letting the air out of the balloon in May for a football season that everybody is wanting to get excited about all summer. That quote is going to carry the talking points about Arkansas all offseason, all summer. And I got to imagine Arkansas is they'll be okay. I haven't studied their roster.
Pretty rough.
I know they're not going to be I don't know that they're going to be a bowl team.
No, probably not.
There was a lot of work that had to be done after Sam Pittman left and the Petrino thing. And so he does have an uphill battle. But man, when I read that, I was like, on one hand, I appreciate him being honest, but it does sound like he's preparing the fans. Does this skirt some blame for him?
Is he trying to under-promise and over-deliver?
That's what I think.
Huh?
I think it's better to. Well, I just think it's better for him to set the bar that low.
Hey guys, I want you all to expect us to go 4-8 this year, and then everybody's real happy with 6-6.
That could be it, or it could be that he believes that they genuinely stink.
Could be true.
4-8 seems like maybe even a stretch for them. Honestly,
I'm going to look at their
3-9 seems pretty reasonable.
Let's look at their.
I don't know what their schedule was. I also don't know their personnel, so I was just going with the.
Well, they lost Taylon Green and Mike Washington.
Sure.
Let's see. Here's the Arkansas 2026 football schedule.
They need an Allen brother at quarterback.
I got it pulled up. You want me to run through it? We can go win-loss.
I got it right here. They open with North Alabama. That's a win. Then they go at Utah. Utah under a new head coach and Morgan Scalley. It's a new head coach, but he's been there a while.
Loss.
Georgia.
Loss.
Tulsa. Boy, you lose to Tulsa.
Coin flip.
At A&M.
Loss.
Tennessee. Well, I don't think Tennessee's going to be very good. At Vandy. You can get that one.
No.
Vandy's going to be starting a true freshman quarterback.
But Clark Lee's a good coach.
He's a way better coach. Mizzou. Loss. At Auburn.
Loss.
The coin flip.
Loss.
I don't think Auburn's going to be very good.
Loss.
I don't think Auburn's going to be very good.
That's a loss.
That's their most winnable SEC game.
Jordan Hare. Loss.
South Carolina at home?
No.
I don't know. It depends. How big is South Carolina's lead at halftime?
How much does Shane Beamer wave his hands walking into the halftime tunnel?
That's the stat I need.
South Carolina is returning a first rounder at defensive end and one of the more experienced quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, South Carolina's going to bash their brains in.
At Texas, loss. LSU, loss.
I'd be shocked if they got to more than 4. I'd be shocked.
North Alabama, Tulsa, South Carolina, and Vandy probably feel like the most winnable ones.
Tough.
So maybe he is telling the truth, and he's trying to let the fan base down easy before they get any sort of hopes and dreams built up about a football season. God, Imagine that quote around these parts. You couldn't say it because the football program's in a much better spot, but just to me, that seems.
That's bad.
It's disheartening if you're an Arkansas fan.
Hey, you love this football team. You love this football program. You dedicate your 12 Saturdays a year to this. Your happiness rides and dies with calling the Hogs. Don't bother this year.
We got rid of Sam Pittman. We got rid of Bobby Petrino. He rode off into the sunset.
On his motorcycle.
Vroom, vroomed off into the sunset. And we need some hopes and dreams to be sold for this program, and a giant tub of water gets poured on any kind of football fire that we've got in Fayetteville. Just interesting.
Someone in the chat says we need to relegate Arkansas to the Big 12.
I mean, they probably enjoy that. Imagine you could
their students are all on par with Big 12 students in schools. Because those are all the schools that all the kids from Texas go to, and they can't get into A&M or Texas.
They go to Ole Miss too.
A
lot of DFW goes to Ole Miss.
What Big 12 team would you trade for Arkansas?
Texas Tech at this point. At least they're spending. Play with the big boys.
Boy, a trip from. Imagine you had back-to-back road trips to Starkville, Mississippi, and Lubbock, Texas.
I mean, I don't want to, but
sounds awful.
I think
imagine you have to go to Stillwater, Oklahoma,
is
or
Lubbock,
Ames,
Texas?
Iowa.
Is Lubbock, Texas potentially a worse road trip than Starkville, Mississippi?
I'm not getting the cactuses in my mentions, so I'm leaving that alone. I will say that if
a smellier road trip, that's for sure.
Never been.
If somebody in the SEC were to leave, which I don't know why they would, but let's just say that the
Missouri
SEC makes another round of expansion, I'd love to see Florida State in.
North Carolina.
Those feel like two good fits. Or Clemson.
North Carolina.
I think Miami would be the one that would actually happen.
Nope.
Miami's interesting. It's a big market. And they are, despite them going to the finals last year, they don't generate a ton of juice outside of that small South Florida area.
Frankly, Clemson probably makes the most sense because they already have a rival in the league. Mm-hmm. So it would be easier to schedule them.
North Carolina also has a rival in the league.
What about Louisville?
Florida State has a rival in the league.
What about Louisville?
True.
Yuck. No.
You go to Papa John's Stadium?
We're not here to play basketball.
That's what Kentucky does. And that's what, speaking of Arkansas fans, again, in the mentions of this tweet, there were people that were tweeting it about John Calipari, please spend all of our money so I don't have to, we have to be good at something. And I do think their baseball team, they just beat Ole Miss in a series, and depending on how things go the final 2 weeks, they could play their way into a host, and they're always a threat to get hot and go to Omaha, even though that Van Horn's never won the big one.
And that's the thing you mentioned. Dave Van Horn has never won the national championship. I like him. I don't like that program. And I don't like Arkansas, but begrudgingly, if I had to pick someone to win a national championship where I could be like, yeah, okay, that one's kind of cool, it'd be them.
Yeah, I do. That's a fair assessment. I don't have any problem with that program.
Pick somebody in the league. Pick somebody in the league that has to win the national championship, and you're like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Missouri.
Yeah. All the ones that haven't won one, I would say Arkansas, like Van Horn.
Yeah.
Hey, we're moving early.
Sure.
From the
you
equation.
take A&M out of the question.
All right, so that's a good segue into A&M baseball last night. 16-7 over Prairie View at a game that I described it during the broadcast. It was just a little lethargic.
Oh, it was sleepy from the moment we got there.
A&M had to rally from down 4. I didn't listen to all of Coach Early's post game, but what it looked like to me was there were tryouts happening on the mound, and nobody passed any sort of test until the ball got to Hunter Bond, who was the story of the night.
Very much so. Retired all 10 guys he faced, 3 1/3. No hits, no walks. I believe 4 strikeouts.
And
impressive stuff.
If you go back to his outing against Florida,
I was campaigning for Hunter Bond to get the ball in the 9th because I wanted to see a 4 1/3 inning save.
Yeah, that would have been cool. In a 16-7 game.
That would have been
cool.
Sick.
Cooper Powell did okay.
Yeah, he was fine. 2 hit by pitches late, but it didn't matter.
Yeah, back-to-back pitches got away from him, but it didn't matter in that game. And his stuff, metrically, Cooper Powell was throwing the best fastball of anybody in the game.
Was it?
It was 92 to 94 with over 20 IVB and good spin rates.
Was it Burrows that got hit in the Family Jewels? I bet it matters to him.
It did matter probably to him. That was, although a short bus ride after a game like that is much appreciated. You don't want to have to be driving to Corpus.
Sitting on a bag of peas?
I don't know if they brought any on the bus trip. They could have stopped at Buc-ee's and got some
True.
frozen peas. But
Bussies.
I thought Hunter Bond, you go back and listen, and Hunter Bond threw in the midweek against Houston, threw in Gainesville. Remember, he came into a mess at Gainesville.
Yeah.
And he came into a real mess last night. It was bases loaded and 2 outs.
The tying run was at the plate.
And the tying run was their leadoff hitter, who it goes down as a line out. That ball was not hit very hard. Chestnut caught it like below his shin. So Hunter Bond came into a really tight spot in Gainesville. He came into a really tight spot last night. And all he's done is just throw strikes. It's not overwhelming anybody. It's 88 to 90. It's 6'6" left-handed, but he throws a changeup and he throws a splitter, which is unique for a left-hander, especially the splitter. And he got a lot of swing and miss on it. There was a couple of times he threw it in zone for takes. At this point in the year, it's outside of your top 6 arms, you're probably riding the hot hand. And right now, Hunter Bond's got the hot hand, and it would not surprise me to see him in Oxford in some situation this weekend.
I agree. I was very impressed with it. It's 3 pitches. He's a strike thrower and finally healthy, too.
Yes.
I really like getting to talk to him last night. First time I got to talk with him. Very, very well spoken.
He is, I had him for a few summers with 12, A&M Consolidated product. And, when he went to Blinn, he was their closer on a national championship team and took the ball in high-pressure scenarios in Grand Junction, Cade Bickham's favorite place. But he was on, and not just on, he was a key member of that Blinn national championship team, but has dealt with back injuries. He mentioned his shoulder. He had a finger injury this year, and it's just, it's been choppy for him to get on the mound, be healthy, and kind of work himself into whatever he can be. So I just think if A&M found something last night, then it was all the more reason to play a game like that. If Hunter Bond kind of is coming into his own and you found out about it on the last Tuesday game against Prairie View, then regardless of what it did to the RPI, which we talked about yesterday, it doesn't matter anyway with you having games against Ole Miss and Mississippi State left. But there was value in that game last night.
Yes.
There was value that Jake Dewar started feeling good. There was value that Wesley Jordan started feeling good. There's value in that you found more innings for Hunter Bond and Cooper Powell. So that game was worth playing.
That's why I thought the Tuesday prior, you win that game 9-7 against Tarleton, and because it's closer, the game doesn't lend itself to learning about any of the other guys or feeling good about any of the other guys because you still have to win on Tuesdays, as Ethan Darden told us last week. I was happy that A&M took the lead, ran away with it, and you got opportunities for somebody like Hunter Bond, and then I know they're injuries, so they're opportunities that might not have happened otherwise. But if Akopian and Partita are going to be on the shelf for a little bit, at least Jordan performed well. And you got to see what Travis Chestnut did. That bunt single, stolen base kind of kickstarts the offense. Starting to see some things from different guys, some weapons that you could utilize in different game flows, time scores, momentum, and stuff like that as the postseason gets.
There were 2 quotes from Coach Early last night that caught my attention. One of them was about the injuries, not about Nico and Hakopian's prognosis, but about the guys playing for them. And I don't know who asked the question, but it was essentially in the vein of, is it good to play these games so those guys get more at-bats and you get to know what you have? And he said, yeah, they're good if these guys will actually play. Like if you go out there and just exist, then we don't learn anything. And I do think that was a little bit of we need more out of the guys that are stepping into play. Benderup had 2 hits last night, but I didn't love his at-bats. One was a 3-1 swing off the end of the bat back to the pitcher that he should have fielded cleanly, but he had to jump for and it hit off his glove and they gave a single. The other one was a floated-fisted humpback liner that landed in front of the left fielder late in the game. It just wasn't on the barrel. You know what I'm saying? And Chestnut had the bunt for a hit, but didn't do anything else like in terms of impacting the baseball. So I thought that was a little bit of not a shot at those guys, but trying to tell you the truth of these guys. Like, these are hugely important games. They can't just go out there and exist. We need them to impact our ball club. And what is depth if those depth's not making an impact? But I thought it was good, really good, that Wesley Jordan had some good swings. If you go back, he had a single against Tarleton, single against Auburn in limited time. And then last night, he just missed the ball to dead center for a home run, and then he hits the home run in his final at bat. And I think ideally they would like to get him in the lineup, especially on Friday night against Hunter Elliott, who's left-handed. So that was one comment that Coach Early said. And then the other one was, he went on pretty, I thought he said it well without coming out and saying it. He's clearly talked to people on the committee, the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee, about canceling games. Because he said, regardless of what is said and the metrics that are used, you will get dinged for that behind closed doors. Behind closed doors was a pretty telling little piece of that answer to me. He's talked to somebody that told him, don't cancel that. I don't know who it is, but that's the way it was at least sounded to me, is whenever they go in to have these deliberations about who is going to be seated where or who's going to be getting into the postseason, if you cancel a bad RPI game late in the year, I think it sounds like that's going to be discussed and you will be dinged for it.
In the past, they have not really dinged or held anybody accountable for canceling these games because they've looked at RPI and strength of schedule and different metrics and just kind of gone with that. Seems now, and credit to the committee, credit to the NCAA, if they are going to start doing this, they're going to start holding you accountable for not being true to your word, to your schedule. Because, yes, I understand why A&M did it in the past. You're trying to do what's best for your program to give you the best opportunity to succeed in the postseason and win championships, because that's what all of these guys are paid to do. It's what these head coaches are paid to do. Put their club in the best chance to succeed.
And if you're not going to be penalized for it, why wouldn't you do it?
Exactly. So it seems like somebody at the top, and if it's the committee and it's NCAA enforcement-led, is going to start bucking this trend, I'm all for it. Play the games. If you schedule the game and that's what the schedule says in January, play the game.
There's also merit to, I think, the argument for dropping your bottom three RPI results either way. So your bottom three or even bottom five, although you start doing bottom five, then you're getting into about 10% of the season.
Yeah, that's
too much. But just dropping some of your bottom RPI games at the end of the year. So that does encourage everybody. You play your whole schedule, and then at the end, they're going to take the bottom three RPI results out of it whenever they build your tournament metrics. So, but it did sound like to me, again, that Coach Early somebody tipped him off, said, don't cancel that game. Because if you looked around the country last night, Missouri State canceled, Purdue canceled, NC State canceled. Do you know what all three of those have in common?
No, tell me.
They're all making at-large pushes.
Okay.
And they all canceled against low RPI teams that could have thrown a wrench or even more of a wrench in their plans to win an at-large bid.
Gotcha.
So we'll see if those teams, and there were more. I think there were 7 games canceled last night. NC State did it yesterday morning. It was crazy. But we'll see if any of those teams get docked for making that decision. But I'm glad A&M played the game because there was value in it, as we talked about. Anyway, so close this season at 10-1 in the midweek. Your only loss to Texas State on the road, and then 21-2 in the non-conference.
It's really impressive. And the 24 year where they were unbeaten in non-conference is so much
You'll never see that
an
again.
outlier that if you go 21-2, that is so impressive. And it's a huge reason why Texas A&M should be a national seed if they win maybe just 3 games down the stretch in these final 6. Maybe just 2. I don't know what it's going to take because good teams win in the midweek. Good teams take care of business against the teams they're not supposed to. A big reason why LSU's in the predicament they're in is because they haven't been able to. A big reason why A&M was in a tough spot in 23 and in a tough spot last year is because they didn't take advantage of the non-conference schedule. You got to win those games. Make sure you don't have any bad RPI hits. A&M doesn't. They have one loss in quadrants 3 and 4. They're unbeaten against quadrant 4.
The quad 3 loss is Vandy, I think.
Probably Texas State.
No. I don't think on the road at Texas State's a quad 3 loss.
It's got to be a quad 3 loss because A&M doesn't have a loss in quad 2.
I'm looking at.
They have a quad 3 loss and 9 quad 1 losses.
You brought up LSU, and it's interesting because.
No, I know their non-conference schedule is not good. Their conference schedule against the SEC is not good either. They haven't helped themselves in their 30-game slate either. But so many non-conference losses, sinking them.
LSU, don't look now. LSU has won 5 in a row, and they are still breathing for the NCAA tournament. Now they got to go on the road to Georgia, but LSU has 2 real starting pitchers, and they're loaded in the bullpen in terms of talent. It has not come together for them. They made some really horrific decisions in the transfer portal. This is not news. This is what Jay Johnson said. And now if they have started to turn to more of their freshmen and they're figuring some things out, they got South Carolina at a good time. They've won midweeks against Southeastern Louisiana, who may win the Southland, and they won a midweek against Tulane.
So you are right. The Vanderbilt loss is the quad 3 loss. RPI 68.
What's that hand doing?
RPI 68. Texas State's RPI is 56. That could move too.
Yeah, you don't want that. You'd actually like Texas State to go on a little run here and
Vanderbilt to go on a little bit of run too.
Who does Vandy have these final few series?
Vanderbilt's got Missouri and South Carolina.
How many conference wins do they have?
Vanderbilt has 10.
I mean, Vanderbilt could get to 16 conference wins.
And host. That's crazy.
That's another thing about these schedules, man, is how many teams in the league got to play South Carolina and Missouri.
Texas did.
Texas did. Georgia did. A&M didn't. Vanderbilt does. That's something that I think you have to take into account. Because there's a clear line from 1 to 14, I think can beat each other on any weekend, and then 15 and 16 are the outliers. And that's South Carolina and Mizzou.
Somebody's saying they won't host, Zane. I think it's very unlikely that Vanderbilt hosts, but if they get to 16 conference wins
16 and 14
and maybe win a game in Hoover,
they'll be in the discussion. I don't think they'll get there either. Their RPI is too low right now.
But they could do some work.
You have to go back and look through the history of the league, and keep in mind
the committee cares about name brand too.
Yeah,
they don't look at these resumes without the name atop of them.
And if they could put a regional in Nashville, Tennessee,
yeah,
they'll do that. I don't think Vanderbilt's going to get there either.
I agree. I don't think they will either. But
it's more likely that they get to 15 and 15 than where's LSU at? Let's see.
I think LSU's got 9.
They have 9 wins.
That sounds right.
Let's see.
LSU is 9 and 15 in the league.
It's more likely that Vanderbilt gets to 500 than LSU.
Yeah, well, they close with Georgia and Florida.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Man, I'd like to see LSU if LSU goes 4-2 over those final 6. It'd be good for Texas A&M, and it'd be good for a lot of the teams that are at the top half of the league. Because you're looking for separation. With A&M,
who's Georgia got this weekend?
LSU at home.
And then they got end the year?
Ooh. Georgia plays
Auburn. At Auburn.
See, if LSU could take that series from them, and
God, there's so much intrigue left with 2 weeks left, man.
It does make that makes the SEC title race interesting again if LSU takes the series from Georgia.
And
That's a pretty big if right now, Bickham.
Yeah, no, it's a big if. I'm just saying it makes it more interesting.
looking at the current standings, A&M has played number 16 in the league, number 14, number 13, number 10. They'll play number 9, number 7, number 5, number 4, number 3, and number 1. Texas will have played number 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 13, 13, 15, and 16. I'm not trying to pick on Texas, but when you have this many teams in the league and you're only playing 10 conference series, there's going to be schedule imbalances. Some years it's going to favor Texas A&M. Last year, A&M played South Carolina and Mizzou. They swept South Carolina and got swept by Missouri, which completely derailed their season.
Yep.
But it's interesting whenever you go through these and you start building tournament resumes and you look, Texas might go the whole season with only losing one SEC series. If you do that, you're going to be a national seed, but they also have played 4 of the bottom 5 teams in the league. And, they go to Tennessee this weekend, and Tennessee has got to get some wins because they are at 11-13 and on the outside looking in and in a really similar spot to A&M last year. Really similar spot. First-year head coach, promoted as assistant, and in jeopardy of missing the tournament. So a ton of intrigue left in the final 2 weeks of the SEC season. Where there was not much intrigue this week was in Houston, Texas, as the Astros and Dodgers shared the same field, although they did not look like they shared the same level of play. Since the 2022 Houston Astros World Series win over the Philadelphia Phillies, who beat the Dodgers in the NLCS that year, correct?
No, the Dodgers didn't get out of the division series.
Who did they lose to that year?
22? I think that would have been the year that they lost to San Diego that year.
But since that 2022 Astros World Series, these two organizations have gone completely in different directions. I do want to shout out Braden Shoemake, former Aggie. Homered off some guy yesterday.
Not a former Aggie. Texas A&M legend. He's not a former Aggie.
Well, yeah, he's an Aggie, Texas A&M legend. Braden Shoemake homered off some guy yesterday.
Well, he homered off of a position player.
Homered off some scrub.
Yes.
Position player.
The greatest scrub to ever live. So really cool moment, and I'm hoping that Shoemake will stick around in the big leagues and, kind of settle in Houston as a big leaguer. He's been up and down throughout his career in Atlanta and with the White Sox. And it does sound like now he's going to have a chance to stay up because this is just,
the roster's depleted.
The roster is a disaster right now. And they weren't playing great when they were healthy, but now they're beat to death. And the Astros injury problems only get exacerbated today as Carlos Correa snapped his ankle, a ligament in his ankle during BP, and will miss the rest of the season.
It's Yordan Alvarez and friends right now. Alvarez
it ain't going to be enough to do anything. And I said this before the season with my high school buddies on a group chat. I looked at this Houston roster and I said, man, if you think this team can push for the playoffs, you really believe in Tatsuya Imai. And the early returns on that have been disastrous.
Horrid.
He had a brutal start in Sugar Land yesterday.
He's just complaining about really, really weird things. Humidity, pitch clock. But
mounds.
He sure enjoyed the press tour when he arrived.
Yeah. But it's going to be a shame to see Jose Altuve ride off into the sunset after the greatest professional career in Houston Astros history and right up there with the greatest career in Houston professional sports history. I would put Jose Altuve right up there with Hakeem Olajuwon as the two greatest Houston-based professional athletes of all time.
I think that's fair.
I'm not a Houston guy. I'm still very, very partial to Craig Biggio. The counting stats are insane. Never won a championship. I know Altuve's got 2, but I mean, those counting stats and the longevity and the ability to play multiple different positions, But pound for pound, inch for inch, Jose Altuve might be one of the greatest players to ever live, not just in Houston.
And he's going into the twilight of his career, and the Astros there's not enough there. There's not enough. And it's not like that division is setting the world on fire right now either. No. The Mariners are the best team, but the A's
sure
are actually making
Sacramento. Yeah,
the A's are actually making good moves. And they've got a good young nucleus. They seem like they're going to be a problem for a little bit, but
the Athletics currently lead the division at 18 and 17,
yeah,
2 games above Seattle.
The division's a joke, and Houston's nowhere near being ready to even compete in a bad division. And so it'll be interesting to see how, what Houston does at trade deadlines, how they kind of shape shift themselves for the next 5 years. Is Jordan Alvarez tradable?
Somebody asked about the Elijah Altuve conversation, wants to throw Nolan Ryan in there.
No, Nolan Ryan would be on the Texas Mount Rushmore of greatest athletes of all time, but he's split between Houston and Dallas.
But more than that, he's a California Angel.
And he's a New York Met.
His best years were with the Angels, and his only championship was with the 68 Mets.
And his most notable, I think his most widely known instances of his career happened with the Rangers.
Yeah, when he got hit with the Bo Jackson line drive, and then
Robin Ventura and then the no-hitter at 44.
I mean, did he have 2 no-hitters with Houston, though?
Yeah, but I think it was probably due to that stage in his career. More games were on TV, more things were captured. It's hard to find Nolan Ryan, New York Met, and California Angels video.
Sure. He struck out 383 guys in 1 year, broke Sandy Koufax's single-season strikeout record by 1, and did it in the last, one of his last starts of the year in extra innings. He started the game and pitched into the 10th to get the strikeout.
In yesterday's game, where Braden Shoemaker homered off Shohei Ohtani, the aforementioned Jose Altuve had an all-time bad chase, and I don't know if you saw this.
No, I did. We were laughing about it at the press box.
Overlapped this swing and miss. Hold on, Cade. I got to set this up. They overlapped this swing and miss with the worst chases on outside pitches in the StatCast history, and it got the pitching ninja, who is a very popular follow on social media, thinking, could Jose Altuve have hit this sweeper from Shohei Ohtani if he was holding himself as the bat? And this is the video that was a result of that. That's outstanding. So this, if you're just listening to us, it's Jose Altuve holding Jose Altuve and swinging Jose Altuve, and he would have just missed this slider from Shohei Ohtani.
I saw the regular video, the cut, and the caption was, Jose Altuve misses this sweeper by 2.5 Altuves.
It was outrageous.
It was pretty bad.
Did you guys see the pitch overlay for that? It was like they showed a pitch overlay of that pitch and the fastball that he got thrown to him earlier in the at bat. The fastball went pretty much right down the middle on the outer part of the plate. The sweeper came out of his hand, and it was like 40 feet from the plate. The balls were in the same exact spot. And then once they get to the plate, the sweeper's obviously like 2.5 feet outside, and the fastball's in the zone.
That was I got a good chuckle out of that. And I hope that they keep that meme around for a while. But Jose Altuve swinging Jose Altuve at a pitch thrown by Shohei Ohtani. It was one of the better things that I saw in my scrolls on the internet yesterday.
Altuve, yes. Ohtani freak. Just.
Yeah, it's
the fact that he can go 50-50 and then 2 years later gets it in his brain that he wants to win the Cy Young, and now he's the best pitcher on the planet too.
Yeah, he's the best baseball player of all time. We've never seen anybody like him.
Every now and then I'll just randomly, text the family group chat, "Hey, you are so blessed to be alive at the same time as Shohei Ohtani."
That was one of the better things that I saw on the internet yesterday. One of the worst things that I saw on the internet yesterday was what happened in Detroit, Michigan, where Framber Valdez was getting his brains beat in by the Boston Red Sox, who are not good. And he decided in the midst of this that he was going to throw at Trevor Story. And we have a video of this if you missed it yesterday.
You want sound for this one?
No, you don't have that
After
sound.
back-to-back,
after
back-to-back pumps, right?
Yes, it's back-to-back homers. And you can throw the sound on this one, Cade, because the announcers go right after Framber Valdez.
Trevor Story is going to get drilled. That's tired. After the back-to-back home runs, Valdez plunks him. And some of the Red Sox coming out. And some of the Tigers coming out. And both benches are emptying.
You can't get them out, so you throw at them. What a joke.
Red Sox bullpen is about to enter this thing, too, as they race across the outfield grass. No punches or anything.
Yeah, so the bench is sort of clear, and there's a lot of screaming and yelling. No punches, no shoves or anything like that. We did find out that Trevor Story in East Texan, that hairline's working its way back. But that's beside the point.
You saw the explanation for it?
Yes. So in the post game, AJ Hinch, who managed Framber Valdez in Houston, said he doesn't – basically what he said is he doesn't mind going out and clearing the benches if it feels like that's something that should happen. He said yesterday that when he was on the field during the middle of that, it didn't feel good. Basically saying Framber shouldn't have done that. As this incident made the rounds, there was a breakdown by Eric Hosmer, who did a wonderful job explaining that it took Framber Valdez a couple of innings to realize that the Red Sox had his pitches when they got to second base. Pitch tipping has gone by the wayside since they've gone to pitch comms. Unless you get to second base and you can see into the pitcher's glove. This is something that happens at every high-level college program. It happens at every Major League Baseball program. These are looking for advantages in the game. And Eric Hosmer, again, a longtime big leaguer, did a phenomenal breakdown where he said when Framber Valdez comes set, you can see in his glove. And the Red Sox did a great job of signaling to the hitter. Every team does something different of how they tell either the hitter or they're relaying it to the dugout or the third base coach. But they get to second base, they look in the pitcher's glove, and they see if they can tell what pitch he's throwing. It usually takes them a couple of times. They need to see multiple pitch grips. And then the outcome for those pitch grips to say, okay, I got them. Then they will signal to the dugout one way or the other, very subtly, that they have the signs. So what happened was, I think it was Wilson Contreras was on second base, and Story was hitting. And Contreras did their sign that I've got him. I know what pitch is coming. He will take his lead. And there are different ways, again, for the runner to signal to the hitter what was coming. The Red Sox were using a head turn, a real like low-key, nondescript. Like if you were just watching the game at home, you'd never know that he was tipping pitches. So Wilson Contreras does tips for Trevor Story. Trevor Story gets a base hit. It's first and third. Trevor Story immediately steals second, safe. Why? Because he wants to get to second to relay the signs to the hitter. That's the only base that you can relay from because that's where you can see into his glove. So it took Framber a couple of innings to realize this. Now, they weren't tipping on the back-to-back homers. You just gave it up. So Framber was upset. And by the way, there's a reason why he was kind of in limbo during free agency. There's some real stuff with Framber. If you go back to remember in Houston whenever –
oh, yeah, when he crossed up his catcher
on
intentionally.
Purpose, yes, yeah. And then acted like it wasn't his fault. So there's some of this stuff that's following Framber around. So he flips Trevor Story and got a really bad reaction out of Major League Baseball and even his own manager, which is really telling to me. And I think AJ Hinch is a phenomenal manager. I was really upset that he had to be let go in Houston. I like watching him manage. I like how he interacts with his players, how he interacts with the game. I like what he says to the media. He's really sharp.
He
really,
was the
really
fall
good
guy in Houston. Everyone knows that.
And funny enough, that whole disgusting sequence from Framber Valdez was not the grossest thing that happened from a pitcher a professional pitcher yesterday, as we go to the minor leagues. And probably future Hall of Famer Garrett Cole is in a rehab start in the minors, and he's facing a kid named Caleb Brauninger. I don't know Caleb Brauninger. Let's do a quick Google search of Caleb Brauninger before we show the video here. But Caleb Brauninger had a night that he will tell his grandkids about, because at the age of 20, as a member of the, let's see where we at here, as the member of the Winston-Salem Cannonballers high A team of the Chicago White Sox at age 20, he's 3 for 3 off of Garrett Cole. How cool is that?
That's really awesome.
So he's going to get another chance to hit off of Garrett Cole.
Sweet.
In these minor league starts, these rehab starts, these guys, they got to go to pitch count. So however they're pitching doesn't matter. They're out there to go to pitch count, and once they're done, they'll come off the field. So this is what happens in the next at bat. From a Hall of Famer. Doink. I mean, there's unquestionably, he threw that ball right at a 20-year-old kid. There may be more to the story. What's the old saying? You criticize people's decisions and without knowing the choices that they had. I got to imagine that Garrett Cole had more choices than to flip this kid right in the middle of the back.
Yes.
Definitely. Got him in the shoulder, too.
But that's clearly targeted, man.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, Garrett Cole's good that he doesn't miss a fastball that bad without it,
And look at his reaction.
Give me the ball.
Yeah, he just wanted the ball back. He's lucky. Honestly, he's lucky the ump didn't ring him for that. I mean, it's minor league ball. They're not going to run Garrett Cole, but they probably should have.
That's gross, man.
Playing on the turf field, Garrett Cole.
That's gross. I wanted to show that because it's a guy abusing his situation, abusing his power, who he is, to a 20-year-old kid that's trying to come in and
it's not without consequences, right? Like Garrett Cole throws really hard fastballs.
Yeah, that hurts.
That hurts. Very lucky it didn't seriously hurt.
Yep. I haven't seen any fallout from this, but again, much like the Framber Valdez situation, not well received across the baseball scrolls that I'm in.
No, that's
gross.
You said that's gross.
All right, we will put a bow on this We Learned Wednesday. Do either of my cohorts here have anything prepped for a We Learned Wednesday?
Yes.
What do you got, kid?
I have something. So the first quote true perfect game in MLB history was on Cinco de Mayo, 1904.
Wow.
So and it was Cy Young, and it was technically the third in MLB history, but it was the first under the modern rules that got established in 2003. So that is my We Learned Wednesday.
Do you trust the statistics from that era? It's hard for me to believe some of this stuff.
What do you mean?
I don't know, like how games were scored back then. How accurately were they keeping pitch counts and ERAs? And I don't know. They could be dead on 100% accurate. But because it's just gotten so good now and well documented now because of all the ways we have to input data, all they were doing was keeping it on there was no computer holding all these stats. Like these are all hand recorded box scores. So somebody went through I don't know. I'm not trying to be nefarious. It's just some of this stuff. It's like, would Babe Ruth have been good in this era of baseball?
Reese says there's no way Wilt Chamberlain dropped 100 until I see video evidence.
There's plenty of people that, they're part of that.
Do you believe Helen Keller was a thing? Like she was actually blind?
I think she was
a
thing. You think she was actually blind?
And deaf. Remember, she's blind and deaf, but still an author.
I don't know. You ever seen her husband?
No.
Neither is she.
It's my favorite thing is when somebody mistypes Kellner in the game threads as Keller, and everyone's like, who is Keller?
Do you enjoy Fanta?
Not really. I think the orange one's the best.
Okay, do you like Fanta?
Fanta is solid.
Fanta originated in Germany during World War II under the leadership of Max Keith, head of the Coca-Cola GmbH, when the United States trade embargo and British naval blockade prevented the import of Coca-Cola syrup. To maintain operations and to satisfy the German market, Keith developed a new beverage using only locally available ingredients, including apple palmants, whey, sugar, beet, and other fruit scraps, which he described as the leftovers of leftovers. The name Fanta came from a brainstorming session inspired by the German word Fantasy, meaning imagination, with one salesman suggesting Fanta. By 1943, Fanta had become extremely popular in Germany, selling 3 million cases. It was consumed both as a drink and a cooking ingredient during sugar shortages. Despite its wartime origins, the beverage helped Coca-Cola maintain a presence in Germany while the parent company was cut off from its European operations. So how much do you really like Fanta, Cade?
I mean,
I'm out. What logo do you think Bayern Munich was rocking at the same time?
oh, I know what logo they were rocking at the same time.
Do not Google that.
I mean,
I guess you could.
you
I did
think
a,
it's
I
not
did
like
a,
it's
did a
not
study
safe for
abroad
work.
over there. You know, they are not they're not shy about the history. They very much think of it as a learning experience, a very bad learning experience, but a learning experience nonetheless.
The other thing that I learned in the last couple of days, on Saturday, my wife and I took our kiddo to La Familia Taqueria for breakfast tacos. We were going to go to the Stella Cafe for breakfast, and we got there and the line was wrapped around the outside. There was a lot of yellow and blue jerseys and shirts happening. It was Savannah Banana Day. And when we got to La Familia, I go to La Familia quite a bit. It's close to our house in South College Station. Really strong breakfast tacos, like really good. Perhaps the best in the area. You know, Jesse's and Brian would have a very good argument for that. But La Familia and Polly's in College Station are my two favorite breakfast taco joints. I found out on Saturday, I learned that the pork verde taco from La Familia might be the premier singular breakfast offering in Bryan College Station. Now, Jesse's will make a big argument for that. And there are other good breakfast establishments that have traditional breakfast foods that I really enjoy. I have been open and loud about my admiration for the food scene in Bryan College Station. I think it is extremely underrated around the state. I think we have really good food here. I also found a banh mi Vietnamese place today.
Speaking Cade's language, remember that was on his top 5 sandwiches.
Is it the one by the?
It's on Texas.
By the Specs and
Yes.
by the Chick-fil-A.
Have you been to it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that place is awesome.
It's really good.
Yeah, really good.
It's called like Saigonista.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that place is really good.
I had it for the first time today.
Fantastic.
Outstanding banh mi.
Fantastic.
They have a smoky. It's like I forget what it's called, but I got like the smoky beef one. It was sensationally good, really, really good. But
I got the crackled pork belly one the one time. It was really good.
To go back to my original point, if you are in Bryan College Station and looking for breakfast tacos, they're not a sponsor of this show. I don't think they sponsor anything on TexAgs. Jesse's. If I'm in Bryan, I'll go to Jesse's.
Jesse's is great.
And the
Good
ambiance
lunch.
in Jesse's, like it's a legendary place here. But if you're in South College Station, you need breakfast tacos. The pork verde taco at La Familia is out of this world. Insanely good. And I got 2 of them, and that was it. And I was like, I probably could have eaten 6 more. Thank God I didn't. That would have been a rough doubleheader on Saturday. A&M Auburn with, half a dozen pork verde tacos in your belly on top of a couple of cups of coffee.
Yeah, I think
You would have had your own doubleheader to deal with there.
Oof. What kind of doubleheader are you talking about, Cade?
Like, you can take it how you will.
I'm sure you can. Anyways, I learned this weekend that and it's not disrespectful, but speaking of doubleheaders and things shaped of the like, The Savannah Bananas, I don't think I realized just how much of a crazy phenomenon that is. I drove to the ballpark super early. I got to the office at 10:30 for that 1 o'clock game and then walked over. And there was just a line out the door for a meet and greet at Dunkin' Donuts.
Which Dunkin' Donuts?
What do you mean?
Oh, the one on
Welborn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just a ton of Banana fans. Kids who couldn't get into Dunkin' Donuts.
Hold on, Savannah. How do you know they were Savannah Banana fans or Banana fans?
Savannah Banana fans.
We've known people in these parts that are just banana fans.
Yes,
they don't live here no more.
Yeah, they live in Austin. They take the banana out of the peel and they raw dog it, among other things. Watched my 4-year-old cousin do the same thing earlier last week. Talking about the bananas.
Oh.
This show has gone off the rails.
Okay, we need to turn it off.
That's our
I think
show.
we need to go home.
That's our show for the day.
We've crashed and burned.
Thunderdome Thursday, and
Yikes.
I have a game that I think we're going to start playing. I think we can make it work, and I think we can get the chat involved as long as they pinky promise that they're not going to cheat.
So we're playing a game. Are we going to play them back-to-back, or is this going to be a doubleheader?
We'll see you tomorrow on a Thunderdome Thursday edition of the B Team.